When I see large Soviet-style railway carriages, I immediately think cozy compartments and cramped bunk beds. But when I boarded this carriage from the Lithuanian Railways, I did not expect to find this. A modern, refurbished first class with massive armchairs, outlets at every seat, and an onboard lounge area. But unfortunately, when upgrading older carriages that were not designed to be open, you get some interesting design issues. So join me for a trip on board one of the most strange and best train carriages I've ever travelled in. Our journey begins half an hour before sunrise here at Vilnius main train station. But even at the early morning hours, the station is still busy with lots of buses and people arriving for the first wave of trains. In front of the station there's one of these weird portals to another city, which my camera unfortunately wouldn't expose properly for in the nightlight. But let's head inside the station, as it's much more interesting than a live stream enclosed in a circle. The first station in Vilnius opened roughly on this location in 1869, but was destroyed during World War II, where it was then rebuilt after and most recently refurbished into its current looks in 2023. And I think they did a really great job with the refurbishment. It's modern, but retains much of its older charm. And despite being fairly small, there's plenty of facilities such as baggage storage, lots of places to sit and stand, and free charging points. There's also lots of vending machines, as well as a supermarket that's unfortunately closed this early in the morning. But if you arrive here on an international train, make sure you throw out your waste before getting here. The Lithuanians want none of your international trash. There's also a few small shops and kiosks inside the station building, so you won't go hungry if you have a long wait before your train. And if you haven't purchased your ticket online, which is easy, there's also a ticket office inside the station, as well as a few machines. And as departure time is fast approaching, let's head out to the platforms. Here we catch a glimpse of one of the electric double-decker trains used on local and regional services around the Vilnius area on the electrified railway network. These trains even used to go all the way to Minsk from the fenced-off international platforms, but after COVID and the invasion of Ukraine, these trains have not resumed, as well as every other non-European international service. But thankfully, our train has not been suspended and is now being reversed into platform number 1 around 15 minutes before departure. Our train will be hauled by one of LTG Link's modern ER20 locomotives from 2007. Built by Siemens and part of their Euro Runner family, they are capable of up to 120 km per hour. Before boarding, there was already a hint that this might not be your usual Soviet-style compartment carriage, as the carriage had been retrofitted with an electronic outside display that unfortunately didn't work, but hey, it counts I guess. Be aware that these train carriages are very much not step-free, and the stairs are a bit narrow, especially for bulky luggage. And here we are, in the new refurbished first-class cabin, which features these massive armchairs. But unfortunately the window layout is not very good, and my reserve seat 16 is pretty much windowless. Luckily, first class was not fully booked this morning, so I swapped to a seat with a window, in time for on-time departure here in Vilnius. Departure out of Vilnius is slow as we navigate the many track switches and go past the depot and sidings just behind the station. But with us now firmly on our way, it's time to take a look at the route map for today's journey. We are on board train 15, which leaves Vilnius at 7:30, making 7 intermediate stops as the train crosses Lithuania from east to west before arriving at the terminus Klaipeda. This is scheduled to take 4 hours 35 minutes to cover the 376 kilometers, giving the train an average speed of 82 kilometers per hour. Shortly after departure, the train attendant in first class comes around and takes your order for the complimentary service in first class. This consists of a hot drink of your choice, as well as a bottle of water and a small brownie. And as the sun was starting to rise, I noticed the first issue with these refurbished carriages. The view out of the window is quite restricted, especially when the seat is slightly reclined, as the new seats sit lower than the original ones, combined with the quiet zone marking, which I really wish they moved a bit further up, maybe to the top of the window. But one thing the carriages for sure didn't have when they were built is Wi-Fi. And it's super easy to connect to, as well as pretty fast, so this is really good LTG link. And after I finished my free coffee, the sun has pretty much risen and it's shaping up to be a really nice day here in Lithuania. In addition to the complimentary first service, every passenger on the train also has access to a buy on board menu. Simply just ask the staff for the menu and order with them. As we're on board one of the slower services between Vilnius and Klaipeda, we get to stop in some of the smaller villages and towns along the route. We also catch a glimpse of the Rail Baltica construction, which is a high-speed railway connecting the Baltic states together. But now it's time for me to show the best part of these trains, the new seats. Above, there's space for storing luggage on the overhead racks. At your seat you'll find a coat hook, as well as a large sturdy tray table that will take any laptop with ease. There's convenient cup holders. The paired seats get storage pockets as well as 2 plugs over here and 2 plugs at the seat itself. There's also space for luggage under the seat in front. The seats has a nice winged headrest that are really nice to rest on and strikes a really good balance between softness and ergonomics, making them super comfortable. In the armrest you will find an electronic recline button that is among the quietest I've ever heard. These seats are truly excellent and not something I'd ever expect to see on a Soviet carriage like this. But if you want to try these carriages, you'll likely have to be a bit quick, as the line to Klaipeda is currently being electrified and this is the only route that these carriages are currently used on. It's very likely that these carriages will be replaced by the new Stadler Flirt trains LTG Link have ordered for delivery in 2026. Roughly halfway through our journey, we are coming up on our largest intermediate station. Šiauliai is the 4th largest city in the country and an important railway junction where the line towards Riga, Latvia and Estonia diverges. The city has historically been very important as it sits on the crossroads of many historic trade paths going north, south, east and west. And as our train is now hastily making its way towards Klaipeda, I think it's time we go and take a look at the rest of the carriages. At the front of the first class carriage you'll find a small 2-person compartment. I don't really see the point in this, and there doesn't seem to be any tables either, but it could maybe be nice for a bit of privacy if you can get it to yourself. The rest of first class is of course in this 1+2 layout, which is pretty good. There also seems to be a space for wheelchair users here, but assistance needs to be booked as there are steps into the train shown when we boarded. Behind the small first class cabin you will find this lounge and vending machine area, where you can purchase a snack and a coffee. I didn't see anyone use this during the journey, but it seems like a nice idea. Behind it you'll find the accessible toilet. As you'd expect for a refurbished carriage, it's very nice, clean and modern. But let's continue down to some of the other carriages. This is the 3rd class carriage, and let's take a look at the toilet here. It's basic but functional, and it was looking really clean. Everything is working, including the water, the flush. It was stocked with toilet paper and soap. So LTG Link, I will give this a thumbs up. 3rd class on board this train consists of former night train compartments in day mode. So if your train is not fully booked in 3rd class like mine, you can actually get a bed on this daytime service, although no bedding is provided. In 2nd class you'll find one compartment, as well as open saloon seating in mostly airline style seats in a 2+2 layout. These are definitely not as good as up in first class, but it's still pretty comfortable. And it's also in these carriages you'll find space for bikes. And so, back at my seat, there's not much else to do now other than kick back in these comfortable seats and enjoy the scenery for the last part of the journey. And as we approach Klaipeda, it's about time to talk about tickets. Prices for this train are fixed. It's 29 euros in first class, 20 euros in second class, and just 14 euros in third class. It seems like good value to me, but especially third class seems like a great deal if you can manage to get an empty compartment. So here, as we pull into Klaipeda a little early, I cannot help but just feel impressed by this offering. The seats are super comfortable, and the fact that they are in an old Soviet-style carriage like this is just bonkers to me. The only real downside in my eyes is the poor window alignment and the lack of step-free access. Thank you so much for joining me on this trip. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, as I try to post a new one every Sunday. You can also follow me over on Twitter at IntercitySimon. I usually post live from my travels over there, so it's a great place to get a sneak peek at what videos might be coming on the channel in the future. Thanks for watching.